And I believe that any time we pause and really take advantage of looking into another person's eyes and seeing the gift that they are, of opening ourselves to them and choosing to love them into existence, to sing them down from the stars. Every time we do that, we will be awed. Every time we do that, we will have to catch our breath, because each and every one of us is so filled with the love and the light that is God, even when we don't know it. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, the whole team. That was beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. So there seems to be this mother's theme this morning. Wonder what that's about. I want to take a moment and acknowledge the mothers in this room, and I want to center that in the fact that sometimes people provide a mothering role who aren't in a female body. Sometimes that lands on fathers. Sometimes it lands on binary people. And so there are many ways that each and every one of us can provide that mothering energy, and we'll dig into that a little bit in a moment. But for now, I would like anybody that has ever been a mother or served in a mother role to stand up so we can acknowledge you. I loved you before I met you. Before I held you in my arms, I sang you down from the stars. Those words begin a beautiful children's book, which is available in the bookstore. It's just such a beautiful work, and it's the creation of two Indigenous Canadian women who wove together this beautiful story with incredible illustrations that bring forward a teaching from many Indigenous cultures who believe that the baby chooses the parents, and that there is a song that resides in each human soul that they give expression to in this world. And in these cultures, the parents receive that song and sing it to the child while they're preparing for the birth. They teach it to the community. And when the child is born, the song is sung to them. The song is sung throughout many of the important junctures of the individual's life, including as they pass from this earthly plane. And when that individual seems to go off track, when they perhaps are lost, or perhaps forget who they really are, or engage in some behavior that is harmful, they center that person in the community and sing the song to them so that they can remember who they truly are. Such a beautiful tradition. And there's an element to this kind of capturing the song and singing a child into birth that I see reflected in the words of Unity's co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore. She says, "Truly, it is a blessed privilege to prepare for the coming into the physical of a soul who is coming to dwell among us, to unfold more of the consciousness of sonship or personship, And the parents who invite a soul into this realization and who consecrate themselves to doing their utmost to keep in health and to provide an atmosphere of peace and joy and purity and prosperity are really blessed and initiated into something like heaven. When my kids were born, it was an initiation into heaven. There is something about holding that space for another individual, creating that womb of love that connects us with God, with Source, with the infinite. And I am reminded of 1 John chapter 4, verse 16. It says, God is love. And those who abide in love abide in God, and God abides in them. When we choose to really hold someone in love, when we choose to hold them tenderly and gently, we are in an experience of oneness, not just with them, but with the divine. There is such a tender understanding of motherhood, both motherhood in this physical world, but in the concept of the divine feminine, the concept of the divine mother. And I believe that each of us is invited to hold one another that gently, that lovingly, to show up as the divine feminine throughout our life journey, and that we all need many people to mother us in this process of life. We need people to remember who we really are, to sing us down from the stars when we have forgotten. There is a beautiful story told by a nun that illustrates this concept. She was running late one Sunday morning, and she missed the convent bus to Mass, which was about 5 miles away. And she realized that she really had two choices. She could miss Mass altogether, or she could choose to go down the street to a funeral Mass that was being offered for an individual she didn't know. And so she chose the funeral Mass. And as she sat there and listened to this service, it became immediately clear that Vi, the woman who was being honored, was deeply loved, deeply appreciated. She had touched many people in significant ways. The priest who gave the service, who officiated the service, traveled from 1,000 miles away to be there. And story after story talked about the way this woman had touched their lives. At the end of the service, Vi's sister-in-law got up to deliver the eulogy. She began by acknowledging how well loved Vi was and how deserving she was of that love. And then she said, "But there's something you probably don't know. Vi was not always like that." She proceeds to tell them that when her brother James first started dating Vi, she was not very happy about it. She thought that Vi was self-absorbed, that she only was interested in James for his money. And she talked to James and said, I'm not so sure. And James just said, "You don't know her the way I do." Then, a couple years later, they decided to get married. And once again, the sister was not real excited about this. Once again, she talked to her brother, and once again he said, "You do not know her the way I do." And things seemed to get worse after they were married. Vi spent her days shopping and going to the spa. She would come home and rest on the couch. And James would come home from work and put a load of laundry in, proceed to make dinner. The sister-in-law was like, "Oh, this isn't okay, James." Once again, you don't know her the way I do. And over time, something shifted. Vi began to do laundry. Rather than going shopping, she would stay home and vacuum the house. She began to become involved in charities. And she became deeply loved for who she was and what she brought to so many people. Vi's sister-in-law concluded the eulogy by turning to her brother and saying, "James, you were right. I did not see Vi the way you did. You saw who she really was, and you loved her into being. Thank you, James, for the gift that you gave all of us, for a woman who loved and cared for us deeply. And thank you, Vi, for allowing yourself to be loved into existence. Loved into existence." Such an incredible phrase. And every time I think about it and hear it, I think of my children when they were little. I think of how tender they were as newborns, how innocent, how pure, how much potential lay in this tiny little body. Their presence at that moment took my breath away. They're 24 and 30. When I take the time to really look at them and see them for who they truly are and the gifts they bring to the world, oh yes, they still take my breath away. And I believe that any time we pause and really take advantage of looking into another person's eyes and seeing the gift that they are, of opening ourselves to them and choosing to love them into existence, to sing them down from the stars. Every time we do that, we will be awed. Every time we do that, we will have to catch our breath, because each and every one of us is so filled with the love and the light that is God, even when we don't know it. And it makes me wonder, what would happen? What would happen if in every encounter we had with every individual, we chose to see who each person truly was, to love them into existence, to sing them down from the stars, to nurture their soul on this life's journey? I would say that one of the purposes of spiritual community is to do this for one another. And I believe I know that you guys have done that for one another. Over the past few weeks, I've had the opportunity to sit with so many of you and to hear your stories at Unity Church of the Hills. So many of the stories have included this reverence as you speak about passing under the arch for the first time and feeling embraced by this community. I would also have to acknowledge that in some of those conversations, I have heard the stories of how the tapestry of this community has become a little frayed, perhaps even a little torn. I have heard some of the pain and the loss and the discomfort in those conversations. I am aware that trust right now is a little bit shaky. But in every single one of those conversations, I also heard the love underneath it. I also heard the desire to heal, to reconnect, to experience your wholeness as one community. And you see, I know that you know how to do that. When you choose to be with one another and to sing one another down from the stars, anything is possible. So, I'd like to invite you to turn to the person next to you and say to that individual, and I'm doing it for you guys in the virtual world, look at them. Take a moment to really experience the beauty in their eyes. And say, I choose to love you into existence. I choose to sing you down from the stars. Did it take your breath away? This is my commitment to you as we journey forward. My commitment is to see the beauty in you, to hold you tenderly and lovingly in that womb of the mother, to love each of you into existence, to sing you down from the stars, and as we do that, collectively we will receive the song that is Unity Church of the Hills going forward. It is an honor to walk beside you on this journey. God bless you, namaste, and happy Mother's Day.
We've come to the offering portion of service. The process is simple, no need to be nervous. Give electronically, the methods are many. We take dollar bills, quarters, dimes, even pennies. Venmo, PayPal, money order, check. You can go old school or even high tech. As ushers come forth with their cute little baskets, give what you feel in your heart as they pass it. Your gifts are received with much appreciation. Now please join me in reciting the offering affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate, and I am grateful. Thank you.